wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my weekend review, where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I will be reading to you this week. Sorry, I'm going to be doing this again. My daughter just had her 6th birthday, so it was a little hectic around my house. But I'm going to be reading them to you, and you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinion, or just listen to me while I read them to you, and then we can discuss them down below. Before I get started on this, I also want to just say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm. And small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So with saying that, why don't we go ahead and get started on our first story. And I try to do comic book stuff because that's what I'm all about, geekiness. But the third story will be a little different. Anyways, so the first story comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and it says Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse delays release to June 2023. Now, I'll get into whether I think this is a good idea or a bad idea and everything, but I have to just tell you right now, when I first heard the news, I was kind of bummed because I was like, oh man, I was really looking forward to it. I like the first one. I don't know how you feel about it. Miles Morales, those comic books, they get a little overhyped in my opinion, but they're not bad. They're just not as good as a lot of people make them out to be. Like, people make them out to be like they're the best thing ever, but they're fine. So apologies, I just needed a little caffeine. Okay, so it says the follow-up to the 2018 groundbreaking CGI hit Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was to have an opened in theaters in October 2022, which I was looking forward to. So it says, that's a good picture of the 3 spider people. Sony Pictures is rearranging its release calendar. The studio announced Wednesday it is pushing back the theatrical release of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse from October 7th, 2022 to June 2nd, 2023. Sony's live action / CGI musical comedy Lyle Crocodile. Oh, I'm so dumb. Based on the book series by Bernard Wobber, will instead open over the October 7th through the 9th weekend. Lyle had been delayed for November 18th, 2022, starring Javier Bardem, Constance Wu. You know what? That stuff doesn't matter. Mr. Gump's beloved Shawn Mendes. That's just talking about that Lyle Crocodile thing. Okay, moving on. Oh, that's a related story. Okay. The film once again voice stars Shameik Moore as Miles Morales, a teenage Spider-Man who is transported to another universe where he comes in contact with Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, Oscar Isaac. They'll join forces with a new team of spider people to face off with a villain more powerful than anything they have ever encountered. The voice cast also includes Haley Steinfeld. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 2 has landed a release date of March 29th, 2024. Sony said Wednesday, Part 1 has been dropped from the title of the 2023 movie. Sony also revealed that Madam Webb, based on the Marvel comic character, will open July 7th, 2023, while The Equalizer 3 will hit the big screen September 1st, 2023. The titular character is a clairvoyant whose psychic abilities allow her to see within the spider world itself. The film, an origin story directed by S.J. Clarkson, stars Dakota Fanning and Sydney Sweeney. That's a cute dog. As award season begins, Sony has decided to begin rolling out aerial war epic Devotion. What does this have to do with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Okay, that's it on that. Okay. I don't think they're doing this. Might be because they're like, we have to finish the animation. I don't think it's because of that. I think that they want a different date, maybe a better date. I think that October is a good date for this movie, but I think that June, kicking off the summer of of 2023. June 2nd. I think kicking off the summer months and kicking off the summer release schedule, I think that's a good idea. I think they just wanted a better release date. You know, October's not a bad release date. I just think that, you know, I think this movie is going to be huge. My kids love this movie, so I will, you know, I think it's family friendly. You know, I think that even though is some killing in there, but you know, such as life. But I do think that I think this is a good idea. I think that switching it to June 2nd, 2023 was a good idea. I think that this is better as far as release dates go, and I think it'll be better for the movie as far as that opening weekend / box office intake. So yeah, I think this is a positive move. So good for them. Good for them. All right. So that is my first story of the day. So for my second story of the day, Werewolf by Night, Laura Donnelly reportedly playing Eliza Bloodstone in Disney Plus project. Now, this is on comicbook.com, which is not my favorite, but whatever. Okay, so it says Werewolf by Night star Laura Donnelly is reportedly playing Eliza Bloodstone in the upcoming Disney Plus project. Now, when she was cast, the speculation surrounding the role focused on her possibly being Nina Prince, who is a vampire by night in the comic books. The comic circus, why is this moving so much? The comic circus reports that Eliza Bloodstone is getting the nod here. The presence of Bloodstone would point to a formation of the Midnight Suns even quicker than some fans would have hoped. The mystic / horror roster of characters in the MCU is loading up. Blade's big Marvel Studios debut is on the horizon. Moon Knight is already spearing jackals on rooftops on Disney+. And Doctor Strange is about to unleash the full madness of the multiverse in under a month. All the chess pieces are coming onto the board. The presence of Werewolf by Night alone had energized fans, but things have skyrocketed in the months since the Halloween special was reported about. Now, I did do a video. I've done a couple of videos on that. You guys can check that out up here. It will be interesting to see, you know, where that all happened, what happens to take place in that. And I agree with them. Adding all these mystic, you know, these supernatural characters onto the board is going to be very. I mean, we got witches with Wanda. That Wanda show, and then we get, you know, we're getting werewolves, and with Blade we're getting vampires. So I think that adding all these supernatural elements will make for an interesting MCU. I think it'll be very interesting to see. We won't see Iron Man, but it'll be interesting to see people like I'm trying to think, because Captain America's gone too. You know, like a Hawkeye dealing with vampires, or like a let's see, Thor's gone too. Black Widow's gone. Oh, they're all gone. I guess it'll be interesting to see how, I don't know, one of these, I'd say Iron Man, because that'd be the best example of it, to see how these tech guys deal with, you know, vampires and werewolves and everything. So just be interested to see that. Okay, so adding to the intrigue is the fact that the Station 11 star, Gael Garcia Bernal, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and if I'm not, I'm sorry. Crap happens. Was confirmed in the starring role. The Batman composer Michael Giacchino is in the director's chair for the special as well. So the speculation is through the roof for the project. The MCU has become a wide net for many different tones and textures as Moon Knight dipped its toes into a full-on horror this week. I wouldn't say full-on horror. I did a breakdown and review. I will also leave that in the iCard section. But I thought it was more like Indiana Jones meets The Mummy meets Tomb Raider. So I wouldn't say it dipped its toes in the horror section. I mean, there was some cutting up and stuff like that, which I thought was fun. And there was a part where I was like, oh, and everything. But Moon Knight for me has been a little bit disappointing as far as the supernatural world goes. But we'll see. Okay. But, you know, it's got 2 episodes left, so let's see how that goes. Multiverse of Madness is also rumored to be going much more scary route than most of the company's offerings. Daredevil is back in the fold and waiting to debut in costume, but everything isn't all doom and gloom. With horror and, humorous tones in Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, to look forward to. Thor Love and Thunder seems to be following Ragnarok's trajectory as well. They're doing some comedy there. I think I did a reaction to that. I'll leave that in the comment or in the iCards. I did a breakdown too. That movie looks fun. Fans knew something was afoot after the news of the Halloween special became public. Kevin Smith said last year that he had plans for Werewolf by Night in his animated Howard the Duck show. However, it became apparent that was never meant to be. In my head, as I started building my season, I was like, all right, episode 5, Werewolf by Night, Smith said, during his Fat Man Beyond podcast during the summer. The idea of our story was that Howard was trapped here and was trying to get pages of the Darkhold, which would allow him to go back. There's Howard as I'm laying it out, and then I go to Jeff, and I told him what I wanted to do, and that's when they said, you can use Werewolf by Night, and I asked why, and they said the movie decision was using him. They said the movie Division was using him. Okay. I just want to say I don't know how I feel about that with the Howard the Duck animated, although I do love Howard the Duck. Even from the comic books, I loved him. Okay, Phase Zero offered up a chunky episode this week for episode 15 of this second season, following the release of the first Thor Love and Thunder I don't know what Phase Zero is, trailer, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness box office predictions, and Iron Man 3 actor talking about a return, and Moon Knight's fourth episode made for some interesting and fun discussions. The spoilers for Moon Knight come in the second half of the episode, with Thor 4's teaser trailer being the first big topic of discussion. The new I don't care about this phase, what is it, Phase Zero? Who cares? What is that? Who cares? Is this part of this? No, it's not. I'm sorry, you guys. I finished the article. Sorry, you guys. I'm so dumb. I finished the article. So, as far as this goes, I'm, this stupid thing. So, Eliza Bloodstone is a character that I don't know much about this specific character, just because I don't read. I've never read a Werewolf by Night comic book. I'm looking it up right now so I can read it to you guys. But I do think that this is a good idea as far as comic book characters go, adding this and having it just as a special, I think that it's good, and it introduces, like I said, these supernatural elements that I personally like. So, Eliza Bloodstone, she is a young female monster hunter. There are potential similarities with the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, although when asked about the author's claim, neither. Okay, so Eliza Bloodstone will appear in the live-action Marvel Universe Halloween special played by. Okay, so and then Laura Donnelly. She is from, sorry you guys, I should have had this ready, I didn't. She was in Dread as Abby, and then she was also in, sorry you guys, I'm so she was in Outlander, Beowulf, yeah. So, give me 2 seconds, I'm trying to look her up, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I should have had this ready. Oh, yeah, I know who this is. So she was in Outlander. She's very good. I enjoy her in Outlander. But yeah, I think this is positive. Having another monster hunter is a very good idea, and I hope that she makes an appearance in Blade, because I believe they do have meet each other in the comic books. They have like meetings and stuff like that. I take this off. So that is my second story of the day. Sorry, I was a little unprepared there. I apologize. That's my second story of the day. So for my third and final story of the day, it looks like it says Russ Production Company fined nearly $137,000 for willful and serious safety violations. An unavoidable loss of life occurred. Now, I just want to say I did a couple of videos on this, and again, I will leave those in the iCard section. But I just want to say we all knew this was coming. Like, if you didn't know this was coming, you were blithely naive or blithely unaware what's happening with this. And I stopped doing videos on it because, people just didn't want to realize that, this was bad. And, certain people were to blame, even though they didn't want to see it. And, listen, and then, what's his face? Alec Baldwin. He just keeps talking. That motherfucker just needs to be silent until this whole thing is done with. Okay. So it says, update with detailed summary of the investigation. Okay, so it says the company that produced the ill-fated Rust movie has been slapped with a fine of $136,793 by the New Mexico Occupational Health and Safety Bureau for its willful and serious violation of workplace safety procedures. Gosh, the fine, which is the maximum allowed, allows the Bureau's 6-month investigation into the circumstances leading up to the accidental shooting that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins and wounded director Joel Souza on October 21st. There were serious management failures, State Environmental Cabinet Secretary James Kenney said in a video statement. Watch it below. We're not going to watch it. And more than sufficient evidence to suggest that its standard industry practices were followed. The fatal shooting of Helena Hutchins, they did not write it. That's not her name, Hutchins. And the serious injury to Joel Souza would not have occurred. This is a complete failure of the employer to follow recognized national protocols that keep employees safe. I agree with that. There are protocols in line, and it's very obvious that these weren't followed, and it's sad. I feel bad that that woman had to die. And watch that interview with Alec Baldwin. It was not good for him. Okay. Read the report summary here. We're not going to do that. I looked at it. It's very boring. It's a lot of jargon. That's just very boring. Anyways, a detailed summary with the Bureau's key findings, conclusions, and recommendations is below. Hutchins and Souza were struck by a bullet fired from a gun held by Alec Baldwin, which he said he didn't fire it. But I'm all like, dude, guns just don't randomly go off. You have to fire them. And it was... sorry about that. I needed a sip of coffee. All right. Who has said that he was told that the gun was not loaded. Okay. He has also claimed that he did not pull the trigger, which I don't buy that, but whatever. And that it must have misfired as he pointed the gun toward the camera during rehearsals at the Bonanza Creek Ranch outside Santa Fe. The report concludes that Rust Movie Production LLC's management knew that firearm safety procedures were not being followed on set and demonstrated planned indifference to employee safety by failing to review work practices and take corrective action. Which I have to agree with them on that. I mean, it's obvious that protocols weren't held. Somebody died and everything. So this is just the first of there's the husband, he's suing them, I think. And anyways, Oscars honor slain Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins during a memorial tribute. The production company was issued a willful serious citation that includes a $136,793 civil penalty. This is the highest level of citation and maximum fine allowed by state law in New Mexico. The Bureau said in a statement, Rust Movie Productions LLC was cited for the plain indifference to recognize hazardous associated with the use of firearms on set that resulted in a fatality, severe injury, and unsafe working conditions. All right. The statement adds, while the film industry has clear national guidelines for firearm safety, Rust Movie Productions LLC failed to follow these guidelines or take other effective measures to protect workers. Rust Movie Productions LLC's documents indicate that it would follow the industry-wide labor management safety committees Safety Bulletin Number 1, Recommendations for Safety Within Firearms and Use of Blank Ammunition, but failed to adhere to these guidelines on set. The guidelines require live ammunition never to be used nor brought onto any studio lot or stage. That safety meetings take place every day when firearms are being handled, and that employees refrain from pointing a firearm at anyone except other consultation with property master, armorer, or other safety representative, such as a first assistant director. By failing to follow these practices, an avoidable loss of life occurred. Oh, this is so long. We're not going to do the findings. We won't do the findings. We'll skip to the end. Hold on. Because this is very long. All right, let me go back up here and we'll read. Like I said, when we get to this findings part, this is a lot of jargon that's not necessary. Okay. Under the federal requirements, Rust Movie Productions LLC has 15 business days after receiving the citation to either pay the penalty and provide OSUB, is that what they're called, with certification of corrective action, or to contest the citation with the Occupational Health and Safety Review Commission. Should the production of this film resume in the future, Rust Movie Productions LLC is required to abate. Gosh, Matthew, I'm bad at reading today. The violations referred to in this citation before resuming operations. Employees should speak up about unsafe workplace conditions or report them anonymously to us, said OHSB Bureau Chief Robert Genoway, yeah. As a reminder, it is illegal for any employer to retaliate against any employee who alleges a workplace safety violation. I just want to say right now, employees should speak up. When I'm at work, if there's something I find unsafe, I tell somebody right away. You should too. It's not worth it. And I'll tell you right now, this whole no employer should retaliate against it. I've said stuff about safety stuff. Let me tell you right now, supervisors do not like that crap. They get real angry because it happened under their watch, and they retaliate and they try to make it look so sneaky. So I get the whole doing it anonymously thing, but yeah, them saying that, I just go, yeah, that's not going to happen. So we're going to go down here. You guys can read all of this stuff. It's a lot of jargon though, that it's kind of boring. So and then this stuff, they do recommendations what's the conclusion. We're not going to read the whole thing. This talks about how what exactly happened, or they think what happened, and then how they didn't follow anything. So it says right here, hold on, that's the end of it. Yeah. Okay. So it says recommendations. Based on the above findings, I recommend a willful serious citation with the penalties to be issued to Rust Movie Productions LLC, citing the plain indifference to the recognized hazards associated with the use of firearms on set to which their employees were exposed. And I think that there was a lot of different things going on this set, obviously, but I think that the one thing was just safety precautions were not held to standard. And I think that, they deserved this fine. I just think they deserved it. I think if Helena Hutchins' husband is suing, I think he deserves every penny he's asking for. He lost his wife, the mother of his child. And, and I don't care if she was pissing Alec Baldwin off, or if she was, just being a total asshole. Nobody deserves to get shot and killed on accident. It's just, it's just a crazy situation, but this is well deserved. I think that if you're not, holding up, safety precautions, I think that you deserve to get fined, and the maximum. So they got fined the maximum. So good. And I think going forward, I think everyone in Hollywood, including Alec Baldwin, is going to be taking these precautions seriously. All right, you guys, that is my last story of this week. Sorry, I had a little problem with the whole reading situation, but tell me, what do you guys think about this? How do you feel about the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse getting delayed? Do you think this is a good idea, like I do, kicking off those summer movies, with this animated, this probably really good animated movie, because the first one was so good, and I think family friendly and everything, but I think this is a good idea, with the summer months, and I think they'll get more bang for their buck and everything. Or do you think this was a bad idea? It should have come out this year in 2022 in October, around the Halloween, season. And then how do you feel about Laura Donnelly playing Eliza Bloodstone in the Werewolf by Midnight? Werewolf by Night. Movie, Halloween special for Disney Plus. Do you think this is a good idea, bringing another monster hunter, or do you think they should have brought in Blade? Maybe Blade will make a cameo, who knows? I hope so. Or do you think this whole project just sounds so dumb? I mean, I like werewolves and I like that kind of thing, so I think it's great and I'm excited for it, but you might have a different opinion on it. And then finally, how do you feel about this Rust production LLC getting fined the maximum for their willful and serious safety violations? Do you think that the OSEB, do you think they did the right thing? Or do you think, and do you think there's more fines coming down the pipeline? And I mean, Alec Baldwin said this movie's not coming out ever, but something tells me they might, just so they can recoup some of their losses and everything. Okay, so tell me what you guys think about all this. You can go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my week in review. You guys have a good week. Bye. Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my week in review.